Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is November 30th, 2018. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. And surprise! We sort of finished the tree. It's not completely finished, but this is what we worked on last week, and I wanted to show you the progress. And then I thought, why not put it with our Hitty doll? That's a Gail Wilson kit, and the chair, and then the toys, and our baby doll, and our baby bear, and the rug. So hello. This isn't what we're going to focus on tonight, but I wanted you to see it. And now I'm going to try and move it, and you know it's going to fall down. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up, and we're going to move the whole thing. Highly recommend this. This is a fun project that Pat Hinga sent to me in the kit, and I love it. So I highly recommend that. I'll be right back. I'm going to put this down on the ground. So you can see the quilt behind me. There we go. For quilts, the one right behind me is from Becky's Studio on the Hill over in Holliston. That's a class. She'll teach you how to make it. You'll have a fun experience with your friends or others, so I highly recommend that. And then this, of course, is a KB original design. This is our Christmas quilt that we made 1 or 2 Christmases ago. So welcome and happy almost December 2018. For anyone who's new to FiberCast, this is nothing more than us getting together and sewing together for an hour. So grab your project and let's see what we can accomplish. I'm so glad you're with me. I was going to be making a scrap quilt, but time got away from me and I didn't finish a project. So I wanted to do it tonight. If you could indulge me in, I need to give her some clothes. So I'm going to be making a Raggedy Ann dress and apron. It's all cut out. I had every intention of delivering it to my nail person for his youngest daughter, Sophia, today, but I didn't get it done in time. So we'll have to deliver it at another date. Let's put her over there. And again, send pictures of what you're working on to lynn@simplycolorful.com. I'd love to see what you're working on and share it with other people. If you're not on Facebook, go to the Simply Colorful Facebook page. There's a mystery quilt along group. You can go there. And of course, you can always, we always welcome your sponsorship at Patreon. Love that. Special shout out to our patrons. Okay, so what I have done so far is I did a French seam on the doll's shoulders. Hopefully I didn't ultimately make it too small, the neck too small. I don't think I did. Hey, Carol Oulette. Is that Carol? Let's see. Who's out there? It is Carol. She says, so nice to see you. Hi. Working on some coasters for Cam to give to his friends for the holidays. That's a great idea. Love it. Are you making the ones that fold and they look like cootie? What are those? Cootie catchers. But you can't do this. We'll have to, maybe we'll do that next week or the week after. You'll have to come show us how to do it. I'm glad you're there. Happy Friday. Definitely the holidays are upon us. Let me just turn this on. So again, we're not starting anything new. I wanted to just, oh, and I'm covered with fuzz. Oh, I just wanted to finish this so that we can get this girl given as a gift. And you can see how sometimes I read directions, other times I don't. I do have them out. This is my McCall's pattern that Mom had. And let's see. Oh, the sleeves. Oh, no. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. First, I'm going to do a double turn hem. Where are my glasses? I can't see a thing. So I went and had a pedicure. I'm getting ready for our trip. We are going to the beach. Speaking of which, remind me We have, oh, congratulations. This is our 50th episode of the year. Woohoo! And Bob, being so good with his math, he said, you must have done a couple in a week because it's not, we haven't had 50 weeks in a year. And he's right. It was back when I was making that sweater bag. I think I did some extra sessions. But anyway, we have 2 more after tonight. December 7th and December 14th. And then we will be out of commission for 2 weeks. And we'll come back, what is it? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, either January 4th or 5th. Okay, so there's one. I'd already ironed this. So how has everyone handled the week after Thanksgiving? I can tell you I've had turkey every day, turkey or duck every day. I am dying to see a pizza or something with tomato sauce. I cannot tell a lie. We made soup. We made salad with turkey on top. Oh, and of course the pies, those are all gone. And no, we didn't have company. We did that all on our own. So now I'm going to put this on the sleeves to encase the elastic. See, I've even got elastic in my bag. I really do need these. I'm going to do 2 at a time. Why not? When I saw Mike tonight, he said Sophia, that's their new baby, is a good sleeper. She sleeps through the night already. So that's fun to hear. Who's there? Hello. Hey, Joyce. Yes, we're still on. I'll see you around 1 o'clock. Nope. See you then. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I wonder which one of these I should use. I think, this for our little doll. I think I am going to use this one that's 1/8 of an inch. I just like it because it lies flat. And it might not roll around. I don't know. Okay. Now, because I'm lazy, I'm going to try and put it inside here and not catch it. And then I'll pull it tight. Just that. How many of you make doll clothes? It's always, well, it's not really surprising anymore, but they're just like mini garments, so they can take a long time to make. You don't have to be as discriminating, of course, but I used to make Barbie doll clothes. Those were so fun. We all did. Okay. So there, that is in there. Now, am I supposed to pull it? They want us to do 3/8 of an inch wide elastic. Huh. I'm going to sew one side down, and then when I go to sew the sleeve up, I'll pull it. Okay, so now I know it's secure. When I go to ultimately sew this, then I will pull the elastic. Okay, there's one sleeve. Let's do the other one. I hope this fabric is good and modern enough. Okay, so we can cut this. And we just... Oh, so guess who was researching telephone overhead camera booms? I was on Amazon yesterday. And if this is going to be so easy and like a $20 item, I'm going to kick myself that we haven't been doing it for years. But it looks like they have something that can come across a boom that I can either post on a tripod or clip to the table. Seems like a tripod might give us more freedom down the road. But what it'll do is the boom will come over, and then the phone will go like this, and it will shoot down, or maybe even, no, it'll be like this. So at first, I'll look at you here and I'll broadcast. Then I'll go up like this and I'll switch it so it'll look down here, and we'll be able to see the actual sewing once and for all. There we go. Okay, so there's a second one, casing with our elastic. Oh, okay. Now we have to gather the upper edge. So I'm going to move my stitch length. No. To 4. And then I'm going to do, there we go, nice and big. There's one gather. Now I probably should do 2, but this is a doll dress. I think I should be able to do just 1. I'm going to try it. Okay, so I've gathered that. There's 1. We'll do this. All right, here we go. Gather that, gather that. Okay, so those are going to be the 2 sleeves. All right, now let's go back to our front and back here. We've got the front. So the front's going to go right like this. Make sure. Her neck is kind of fat because I filled it up a lot. Oh, and you're going to be able to see her heart, her chest through the dress. I don't know if I like that. Okay, that should fit. So now what we need to do is use some more, oh, rickrack. Oh, I don't have rickrack that's big enough. I do not think. Nope. See how this rickrack, it's too thin. If I had thicker, I would put it on the neck, but I'm going to forgo that. And all I'm going to do is take more of this bias tape and undo one side my stitch length back down to 2. Because this is a small area and I'm going to do a lot of curving, so I might as well. Who is doing the mystery quilt? What's it called? Good Fortune? That's going to be fun to watch. I know last week Carol over in Yorkshire was busy doing her 4 patches for it. Okay. Now what we want to do is cut this about there. This is where you need the little porcupine quill or a stipple or stiletto or something to push very closely. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is fate in, what is that called? Bias fold, bias tape. And I'm going to sew another seam over it, a little bit closer to the fold. Okay, now what it says to do is clip. We've got to, because it's a circle here, we just have to make little clips to ease the bias tape over. This is about the time when I'm glad I work with fabric and not wood. Fabric is so much more forgiving, right? You really can stretch it. Ooh, and I like how it's turning out. Ooh. I'm going to turn this around and show you. Can you see how it's ticking up just a little bit? That's good. And here's the back that we'll have to tack down in a few places. I think I'm going to try and iron it, but really probably don't have to do too much of that right now. That over. Because now let's put our sleeves in. Now we have the notches, the single and the double. Cut these things off. Put right sides together, matching. Here's the double notch to the double notch. Where are my pins? So double notch to my double notch. And then single notch to single notch. And I want to undo, or I want to even out the pleating. And then put my seam back. So there and there, and on the edges, I'm not going to pin it. I'm going to use the machine to ease it in. And I'm taking about 1/8 of an inch seam first. and I will come back. So this is like a, is it stay stitching? It's just a test run. You want to keep all the pleats as straight as you can. Like I say, if I had my porcupine quill, that would be really good. Lima gave me a porcupine quill. What you do is you use it to make sure your fabric feeds in flat. So while I'm doing this, again, this is a shameless plug, but if anyone is looking for a quilting experience, go look at Studio on the Hill. .tv is what it might be under. It's got a little bit of a funny URL at the end. And if you're anywhere near Holliston, check it out. Maybe you have friends that have always said, oh, I want you to teach me how to make a quilt. This is the best way to do it. Bring them to the studio. Have Becky help pick out bright colors and a pattern, and you can make one quilt amongst you all. And they can see if they like doing it. That way you're not on the hook to have to really teach them everything. How not generous of me, right? Okay, so now I'm going to do another set of stitches. Off. Okay, so there's one. Looks like a mess right now, doesn't it? But you just wait. Even pulling out the basting. And I'm going to cut off the notches. We don't need those anymore. Famous last words. Okay. Now we'll do, see what I'll do is I'll do all this machine sewing, and then things like tacking down this bias tape, I can do that in front of the TV when I go downstairs. So same drill. I'm pinning single notch to single notch, double notch to double notch. I'm easing in the sleeve shoulder that has been all gathered. And go. And then I'm going to do one seam that is 1/8 of an inch, just to tack it all down. Okay. Take out the pins. make sure that we don't have any of the pleats not sewn down well, and it looks good. Meaning not any of the pleats that have gotten caught up in the seam. And it looks like they're all nice and straight. So now I'm going to go back and do the real seam. There we go. Okay. Again, I'm going to cut off the notches. We don't need that. And that's just extra bulk. And basting stitch we can take out. Again, that's something I can do downstairs. Okay. So now we have the front of her bodice and we have her sleeves. Now it says, put them wrong sides together. And we're going to sew it together. And this is when I'm going to pull the elastic. And I know many of you know how to do this. So, and again, FiberCast is not a tutorial per se. It's just us sewing together. So speaking of which, after I do these seams, I'm going to go see who's out there. Okay. And we'll do this one. You have to remember to pull the elastic. Look at all of these threads. It's a wonder. I'm just pulling the basting there. Okay, so I have this ready to sew on both sides, and I'm going to pull the elastic around. Hello. So that it will fit. Uh-oh. Carol, are you okay? She says, I just blew out a seam. Go. Okay, so there is one side. Let's do the other, and then I'm going to come back and do a double seam, because these are little kids' dresses. Ideally, this will get worn and torn and pulled a lot. And that's what we want. We want this little Raggedy Ann to be dressed and undressed, and so we'll make her dress withstand that. Take out the pins. Okay. So now, cutting that all off. Sorry, cutting the notches off. I don't need that anymore. Now I'm going to give it all a second seam right inside the first seam. Go. Second seam here. Oh, blew out a seam on her coaster. So Carol is making those coasters that you turn. So she had to bring it back to the sewing machine to sew it. Thank you for the explanation. Okay. So there and there. All right. Let's, do I turn this? No, I'm not going to turn it yet. Instead, I'm going to see who's out there. So we have the top of her dress. Okay. Let me get I had my iPad here. Where did I put it? Oh, well, we can look at this. Do you believe it? 50 episodes this year in our 5th year. Who is out there? Yay, Becca. Hi, Becca. Becca from Georgia writes, hi, Lynn and Fibercasters. Oh, I'm watching live from a hotel outside Lexington, Kentucky. I should make it home to Georgia tomorrow. Oh, I love that. I hope you've had a good trip. I had this picture of you driving across country with your U-Haul and your piano in the back. That's great. She says, I spent today at a lovely, friendly cross-stitch shop in Cincinnati, Ohio called Keepsakes. Oh, that's have I heard of them? They must really know what they're doing. She says, I am definitely looking forward to getting back to my sewing machine at home, she says. My first project is to make a small pillow with the cross stitch, pictured below on the front. It's for an auction my Embroiderers Guild is hosting. Happy stitching, Rebecca Clash. Aww. Witches and ghosts and goblins. And this is not going to do it justice, this phone. But let's see. Oh, I love it. Isn't that great? That'll be a nice pillow, and what a nice thing to bring to an auction. Someone will be all set for next Halloween. That's excellent. Sue Norton, speaking of holidays, Sue Norton titles this Christmas Ornament. She says, hi, Lynn, I finished this Christmas ornament last week. Oh, here's a quick video. Found a tutorial on YouTube. No sewing, just pins. Wow. Hope your week went well. My week, well, work is work and no comment on that. Amen. Oh, everyone ready? So let's see if this works. That's Sue's ornament that she made by putting folded pieces of fabric onto a styrofoam ball and then pinning them. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I bet it's nice and light too. That is great. Ha! Happy Friday. We don't have to think about work for 48, how many hours? 24, 48 will get us to Sunday night at this time, plus another 10, so like 58 hours. That sounds pretty good. Maggie. Hello, Maggie. Oh, it's so nice to see you're out there. Maggie says, I'm so glad to be able to join you tonight. I love your little Christmas scene, and the doll in the rocking chair is beautiful. Thank you. Again, Gail Wilson, and I think she's up in your neck of the woods. She's in New Hampshire. It might be Gail Wilson Designs. Google it. She has a really in-depth website. She makes wonderful kits. She's been doing it for years. Her work is meticulous, and their kits are very fun. Aw. Oh, Maggie says, I found my quilting bug after a long drought. Yay, she says. I'm working on a Christmas quilt to give it the family Yankee swap. We are a big family, she says, 16, so we do the swap instead of buying for everyone. Isn't it great? We started that a few years ago too, and it's such fun. Oh, I love your quilt. She says, I'll try to show you a picture. It's a pattern that I fell in love with from a mom and pop quilt shop who are up in Canada. Your friend Maggie in New Hampshire. Oh, Maggie. Oh. You have your quilting mojo back. I'm so happy. Thank you for sharing that. So happy. Merry Christmas. Yay. Okay, Kathleen, I hope you're out there. Kathleen started making a quilt at our quilt show this fall. And actually, it was a great thing. They brought triangles to the quilt show, and they had it on the side, and it was like a hands-on display for children to show them how you could put triangles together to make a plane, make a quilt. And I must admit, I didn't go over and get the lesson, so I'm sure there was a lot more to the lesson that I'm missing. But reportedly, some children had just a whole lot of fun putting those pieces together. So at the end of the quilt show, here they had all of these triangles all pieced together. And now Kathleen and Nancy are sewing those triangles together, which is not easy. And then they're going to quilt it and use it as one of our charity quilts for the orphans here in Massachusetts. So she has sent us a picture of it so far, and you're not going to believe how cool it looks. Kathleen, oops. I love it. Now, I assume that, Kathleen, you're doing a beautiful job. Is that all Kona cotton? I think it is. Look at how stunning that is. That's all flat solids. I love it. So what does Kathleen say? She says, here's the top so far to give you an idea of the shade of blue. Oh, perfect. I'm adding a border of black triangles with the same blue. Oh, then it will be done. The final size will be approximately 72 by 60, kind of long, but I think that will be okay. I agree. Plenty to cover little tootsies, little toes, or big toes. And yes, you want me to drop it off at Nancy's, I will do that. There's no deadline. Please don't worry about a deadline. We all have our lives to live. So thank you for dedicating and giving of your time for this, and for some lucky recipient who will keep their toes warm. Okay, so let's get back to our skirt. It's time to attach this to our skirt. Okay, so I'm supposed to gather the upper edge along the lines. Now I know the upper edge is here because on the back there's an extra little tab. That tab is going to be the opening that we're going to turn under on the back so we can get her dress in and out. Actually, before I do that though, let's we should do a test run to make sure this will fit her. Ooh, don't need that pin. I'll get all the little, I'll remove all the thread later, but just want to make sure. I purposefully didn't pull the elastic tight because I knew her hands. I made her hands really big and stuffed. Ooh, there we go. That's good. That's a good sign. I should have made her panties first, I guess. There we go. That fits beautifully. All right. Her arms. Now, if this goes under there. Yeah, this I think is going to work. Okay, so it fits in the back, fits in the front. Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to go any further. So this doll's going to Sophia. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to do some gathering up at the top. Okay. Doesn't this look huge? It's going to be very gathered around her skirt. And this we probably want to do 2 basting stitches, but the reason for doing 2 lines of basting is inevitably when I pull one will break, or 2 just will give us a more even basting across it, right? So Becca, in your hotel right now, do you realize that we're about a month and a half away from Missouri, being together at the Missouri Star Quilt Company? And anyone else out there that has an interest, we're going to the Elvis Retreat the week of January 21st or 22nd. Let me check. If you have any interest in joining us, please do. We would love it. Nothing formal with FiberCast. We're just all meeting there. Let's see. January 21st is a Monday. That's when we're going to arrive. I think, Becca, you might arrive the 22nd. I'm not sure. I'm sure I have it somewhere, so. And when we get closer, we'll be in touch for sure. Okay, so now I have 2 rows of basting, and now what I need to do is pull them so that it gets gathered. Be a little gentle, because this is a rather big piece of fabric that we need to ease into our bodice. And I'm going to go to the other end and start that. I have no idea how we're doing for time. Wow. No wonder I didn't get this done. These take time, don't they? Of course, I'm chit-chatting an awful lot. Okay, so that's getting closer to what we need. Now there are also double and, I guess 2 double notches, which is fine. I'm going to pin them right sides together. This looks harder than it is really to sew together. Okay, there's that. Probably should have marked the middle. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So I'm going to line up this middle fold with the middle fold on the bodice. Okay. So now I have to ease in both sides and pull more gathering as needed. Oh, Maggie, I'm so glad you found your quilting mojo. It takes time, I know. I do really know. One day leads to another, and then time does help things heal. Which is really quite miraculous when you think about it. That no matter what you're going through, you know it's going to change, good and bad, right? So cherish when it's good. And when it's bad, the older I get, the more I realize it does get better. And so I don't wallow in the bad as long as I used to. Not that I don't care, but maybe we all should try to not care as much a little bit. I don't know what that means, but okay. Oh, it's so pretty when it's all gathered. See that? I want to make sure I have right sides again to right sides. Oh, someone just texted me, if I recall right. Hey! KB, hi KB. She says, yay, I finished binding my Christmas cuddle quilt. Ooh, do show. Hey, Chris. I arrived to my little Cape Escape and I'm watching you. It was so great to see you earlier. Hope you have a great weekend. Oh, and you love the behind. Isn't that pretty? That comes from Becky's studio on the hill. One of her classmates did that. Oh, I'm so glad you're there already. Oh. So the story is, what Chris is talking about is I met her at the nail salon today. This is Sophie's dress. I didn't finish it, needless to say. And my plan was to have it there and to give it to Mike after he did the service. But I just did not have this done. Anyway, what happened was, I called the salon, maybe, was it Monday? Because I thought, oh, I'll give myself a deadline and this will make sure this is how I'll get this dress done. So I called the Zen studio, Zen Nails in Hopkinton. If anyone needs a place to go, they're great. Ask for Wendy or Christine or Mike. And so I called Monday. I was all set to get an appointment around 2 this afternoon, or lunchtime or whatever, because I did work today. So it was I was going to take my lunch and go have my toes done because I'm going to be on the beach someday soon. And Wendy, at which point Wendy volunteered that my friend Christine was going to be there at 5:30. And I asked if Mike would be there. She said yes. And so I changed my appointment to 5:30 and I surprised Chris. That's it. And it was lovely. We caught up in the chair. Of course, I feel bad, Chris, if you were planning on just going and relaxing. So if I interrupted that, I'm sorry. But it was great to see you. Okay. And I'm so glad you're already at your Cape Escape. You don't have to keep driving. Okay, so there that is. Now I'm going to do same drill. Going to do like less than 1/8 of an inch to tack it all in and get the pleats going straight. Oh, but I don't need my basting stitch width or length, I mean. 2, 2. Pull that out. Lots of pins because this is a semi-tight curve. But again, it is only a doll dress. It's not like this is fine haute couture, if that's even how you say it. Sandra, are you out there? And are you warm or cold? I hope everyone is fighting this flu season. And please drink lots of fluids and get lots of rest. You're allowed to rest. We all have worked hard. We don't have to always be going and doing. I was thinking the other day that I've spent most of my life doing things. I'm going to try and spend a little more time of my life just being. Doesn't that sound like it came from a self-help book? Oh, and I have to do another plug. If anyone has not tried Overdrive, you've got to try it. Even if I know you like touching books, and that's wonderful. So maybe Overdrive isn't for you, but I love Overdrive. It's an app on my phone that my mother turned me onto and Bob onto. Bob for years said, no way. And he went up to the library once a week and he would pick out his books and then he'd read them. And then inevitably, either he'd run out of book, he'd finish it and the library wouldn't be open, or that usually was what would happen. Not more often than not, he just wouldn't have a book and the library would be closed. Well, we turned him on to this Overdrive and he is hooked. And it's wonderful because he can see other books by the same author. And let's say one library doesn't carry it. He can go to another library through Overdrive and find it there. Okay. Well, I'm again probably going to have to finish this offline and then post a picture. But I sure have enjoyed having company. And I hope you've been able to, I hope you're inspired by the Maggies of the world. That you can lose your mojo for a while. You can get into another craft. Doesn't have to be quilting. It can be anything that just you enjoy doing. Look at that. It's looking like a doll dress. So now what we have to do, let me just cut the notches off. We don't need those anymore. I promise I will neaten this all up. I just wanted to try to make a little headway. There we go. Okay. So what do we do next? Okay. We're going to put we have to make the back here. How are we doing? Do we have time? Ah, we do. We do. So there's a piece here that notches out. That's going to turn, it's going to be the back place where we put snaps so that we snap her in. So we want to sew up to that. And we probably, though, the instructions aren't all that great. Fold bias tape. I'm sorry, this is not good pod, is it? I think I have to undo the bias tape. I folded it over there. If I want to do this, then that goes down. Well, we know we need to do this. Okay. And I definitely want to make sure I said hi to everyone. Now, of course, when it's almost done, I'm sorry. Oh, Kathleen. Hey, Kathleen says she's watching. Hi, Kathleen. I'm so glad. Becca says, Gail and I arrive in Hamilton on Sunday, January 20th. We spend Sunday night in a hotel. Then on Monday, we'll move to the Missouri Star Quilt Company Retreat Center. Yes, I did. I did read your email of a few weeks ago about getting into the retreat center. So we will see you on Monday, January 21st. Woohoo! What projects are you going to take? Oh, Becca. Well, I'll give it some thought and we'll talk about it next week. I'm probably going to bring my Dear Jane project because I always do, and then I never work on it. The fact is that when I'm only going to bring the Dear Jane, maybe, and then just one project, some scrap project, because the fact is there are fabric stores outside and I may just have to buy a jelly roll and do a jelly roll race. But I'll give it more thought, and I'm really going to try not to buy too much fabric. How's that for a non-answer? I will work on it. Oh, I did want to show you Nancy Burdick. So our Quilt Guild is doing a busy bee swap. I don't know if I mentioned this. Did I mention this? So every month we make a block for someone else, and 1 month is our month, and we get to tell what kind of block to make. So all of us made the Arizona block. I think I showed you the Arizona block, and we gave it to Nancy, and look at what she made. Isn't that beautiful? That's better than any quilt I've ever made. I'm just thrilled to be part of it. What she did is the Kona white is the white. And she said that's what she wanted us to use. But then the scrappy blues were to be used in the Arizona block. And she did say use medium ones here and dark ones here. And I think it's stunning. So on that note, I guess we kind of talked about scrappy. I definitely love scrappy, and I want to go back and make another one. I'm so glad you could join me. It is the holiday season. It's November 30th. Tomorrow's the 1st of December. So we get to start those Advent calendars. And just do what you love to do. Thanks for joining me again. And we'll see you next Friday night right here on FiberCast. Until then, have a great week, everyone. Bye.